Good afternoon, and welcome to another edition of Talking Bitcoin. Really, this is not toxic happy hour, but I am still toxic towards scams that delay this adoption of global sound money. Of course, here I'll just today focus on why I believe that altcoins are shitcoins. And I have a problem with anyone delaying the adoption of global sound money and trying to scam people who may not fully understand what money is or haven't done the research. So posting this on eToro before going live. Can you guys hear me? Can someone in the chat say if you can hear me? I think everything is working fine, but just to be confirmed. So when I posted this on eToro that I was going to do this stream where I will discuss my arguments for why I believe altcoins are crap or garbage, and I got a little bit of heat. Obviously, I know it triggers some people because they like to believe in, or they believe in, Ethereum, Ripple, and other things. One of the comments, for instance, I'll just take them, in case you guys that wrote the comments are watching. I'll just tell you why I think, that viewpoint is wrong. So there's one comment here: altcoins definitely aren't trash. It means they are not trash. A lot of money to be made in the short term. I think what is extremely thanks Shelly Mac for confirming, and John, that sound is going through. So if you think that there's a lot of money to be made on trading altcoins short term, you haven't got your definition of money right. So fiat currency is not money. Money per definition can store value. Bitcoin is money because it can store value. To be able to store value, anything that should be able to store value needs to be scarce. Bitcoin is scarce. Fiat currency is not scarce. And that is why fiat currency has lost like US dollar has lost like 98% of its purchasing power since the Federal Reserve was introduced in 1913. Originally, gold was at least officially backing the dollar. Obviously, that was too big a temptation. So they eventually took the gold in 1933 and told people back then just to use the paper notes of the dollar and call it money. Let's call it money. So no, there's no money to be made. Well, I can't rule it out, of course, that some can get lucky with some pump and dump, but making dollars short-term trading altcoins is not making you money. Try denominating in Bitcoin. It's really about, Bitcoin is a way better money than fiat currency. In fact, it is money and fiat currency is not, as I already described. But for instance, look at Ethereum. A lot of people are excited because it's back at all-time highs. It's not. So Ethereum may be costing the same amount of dollars or close to that it did at its high back. I believe it was early 2018 that Ethereum peaked in dollar terms. But if you look at it priced in Bitcoin, which is what you should do because Bitcoin is money and fiat currency is not, then the price of Ethereum is down to about half it used to be measured in Bitcoin. So no, Ethereum is not at an all-time high. It's only at all-time high if you measure it in something that has unlimited supply, and they printed 30% more of it last year. So always look at everything, in my opinion, look at it priced in Bitcoin, then you will find the real price. That is that. And then I got another comment. I respect all the input. You can be critical all you want. Of course, you're welcome. Of my viewpoints that altcoins are trash because I need to be able to explain why I think so. So I'm not just saying that altcoins are shitcoins. I'm telling you why I think they are. And then you can agree or not agree. And, good luck. If you want to trade altcoins, I just feel I have a duty. Having spent a lot of time on research, I have a duty to inform people of this point of view because I think it is important that people understand that, or at least know why we are a lot of people that thinks that altcoins are shitcoins. So got another comment saying that there are fantastic projects out there that can easily do 2x or 5x your investments in fairly short term. Let's just be clear, most of them do not give a 2 to 5x return. And again, when you look at that, you may have, let's say Ethereum does a 4x in 2021. But if Bitcoin does an 8x, then again, Ethereum has just lost value compared to Bitcoin. When you measure how many Bitcoin you get for your Ethereum, then Ethereum, has half this price, even though it's gone up in dollar terms. So stop using the dollar as the price of something, because the dollar is not something that is good to measure the price of something. And because they keep printing more, it keeps being or keeps losing value. It's a built-in policy. They've even told you and convinced 99+% of the population in the world that, hey, us diluting the money you hold and you losing the value of your savings is good for you. They managed to convince the majority of the world of this absolutely nonsense. And I mean, I'm still trying to explain to my mother why her currency is not money and it doesn't store value, and why it's a terrible idea. But here we go. There's a big information need, education need. So those were some of the things. Then I want to go a little bit further into Ethereum, because why not? It is the number 2 measured on market cap. Well, it's number 1 shitcoin in my opinion, but number 2 cryptocurrency. So let's take a little bit of a look on Ethereum. First of all, Ethereum doesn't scale. Ethereum has a huge scaling issue, and they're trying to solve that by going from proof of work, which is the security method, which really is the only security method that is safe. They're trying to leave that because they can't scale on proof of work. They're going to proof of stake, which basically means the more money you have, the bigger a vote you have in deciding which transactions should be done, if there should be done any which transactions that should be accepted, if there should be any censorship on transactions. And this is where Bitcoin, if you have a node on the network, which is a fairly cheap and simple way of thing to set up, then you have a vote, an equal vote. And the miners have more computing power on the Bitcoin network, securing it against hacks than any other computer network out there. Like by orders of magnitude. Even if governments wanted to hack Bitcoin and they put all the servers from all the governments around the world, Google, Amazon, Facebook, and combine Netflix, whatever, and took all those servers to try and attack the Bitcoin blockchain, they would not have anywhere near enough computer power. So Bitcoin already is so far ahead in its computer power, and as price goes up, the incentive to mine it and secure the Bitcoin blockchain just increases further. It's really a matter of positive cycle and reinforcement of the fact that Bitcoin has already won. And then also another issue with Ethereum is the fact that the supply is unlimited. Anything that has unlimited supply will not have value in the future, no matter how much you think it's great. Oxygen is something that we all need to survive. It's the most important commodity in the world. If we don't have oxygen, we'll die in 5 minutes or so. Yet the price of oxygen is 0 because it's abundant. So the price of something can only be high if it's limited. And Ethereum has an unknown and unlimited monetary policy where it can be changed and it can be increased. So that in itself is a huge issue. So that, I mean, there's the problem they have with scaling, the unlimited supply, and also I'll say, Bitcoin has an obvious natural value proposition. It's the best money we have ever seen, and you can argue for that reason, going into the money market of the world, the store value market on the world, why it eventually will have a $20 million price tag per Bitcoin. That was $20 million per Bitcoin. That is the price target I have for Bitcoin. Now, you can argue that with Bitcoin because Bitcoin is money and it's the best money the world has ever seen. And what is Ethereum? Why does Ethereum have value apart from speculation? Because Ethereum is not money. It is not. So the definition of money is basically you need to have a commodity, be it physical, which used to be gold, or digital, like Bitcoin, where first of all, it needs to be scarce to be able to be money. If it's unlimited, price will, does not sustain long term. But money is a commodity that is portable, durable, divisible, and fungible. Scarcity is like a given necessity from the beginning before we start looking at these four. Now, so Bitcoin has replaced gold as the best money the world has ever seen for a couple of reasons. It's just simply better. Whatever commodity is best on these properties will become money of the world. It's like natural law. Humanity will gravitate to whatever commodity is best as money and take over as money of the world. Fighting that is like fighting the gravity of a black hole. It's just impossible. So that is in nature of us humans. And the thing with Bitcoin is it already has a maximum value on 3 out of 4 of these, and I'll explain why. And because Bitcoin has that, you can't make a better money, because to replace an incumbent winner in a category, be it a search engine, be it a social network, be it money, to replace it, you can't be as good. You can't be a little bit better. You need to be like at least an order of a magnitude better, which means 10x, in order to actually overcome that network effect that the first network in that category has. But let's go through the 4 very, very important properties of money. Portability. So there's nothing in the world that is more portable than Bitcoin. I mean, one thing is that I can transfer money to a vendor in China that is producing something for me in a matter of seconds, basically instantly. And if you use Lightning Network, which is a layer 2 on top of Bitcoin, so it's not actually on the blockchain. It is a instant and near zero fee transaction layer on top of Bitcoin. So that actually gives you instant and free transfers of Bitcoin value. And then whenever you want, you can settle it to the blockchain and then get your your private keys of your Bitcoin. So there's Bitcoin, as in terms of portability, you can send it anywhere in the world instantly at less than 1 cent of a fee. So it's basically free. You can't beat that. And again, if you have something that already has maximum value, no one new can come and do it better. So this is important to understand, that Bitcoin already is super portable. Like it's infinite maximum portable. I mean, so that is one thing if you want to send it digitally, but imagine you live in an oppressive regime and you want to get out of it, and you want to bring your family values with you. So with gold, if we go back to last century and before that, anytime you wanted to leave an oppressive regime, what people did was they had to convert their values, be it a house, whatever they had of values, to gold, and then smuggle the gold out. And there you have a problem with gold, because that is not easily smuggled. Every single month, people are caught in customs trying to smuggle gold from one country to another, because it sets up the metal detector. Now, let me tell you how portable Bitcoin is in that situation. What you can do is you can memorize 12 words or 24, but you can memorize essentially 12 words and carry that through customs. Carry your Bitcoin in your memory through customs, where no metal detector will go off. They can't open any briefcase and see you have a lot of, dollar notes or something like that. It's untraceable. I'm not saying do anything illegal. I'm explaining why Bitcoin is the most portable money in the world. And if you need to leave oppressive regimes, there is no better money than Bitcoin. So that's for the portability. Infinite maximum value, can't be beaten, forget about it. Durability. Bitcoin is infinite durable as long as you make sure to back up your private keys. Guys, thanks for watching. We have 31 live viewers. I'll get to your questions later in the chat. If you have some, you can also just wait with them. But in terms of durability, as long as you back up your private keys, which is the access you have to your Bitcoin, as long as you back that up, no one can take it from you. And the durability is infinite. Bitcoin can't be lost. You can only lose the access to it. So as long as you do a backup of your access to the Bitcoin, it is infinite durable. So out of the 4 properties, it is infinite portable, it is infinite durable. Then we come to divisibility. A third out of the 4 very, very important properties are basically the properties of money on which all money commodities in the world, or any commodity really in the world, compete on those 4 to have the best overall performance package to become money of the world. Third one, divisibility. So divisibility means, basically, as it says, how much can you divide it? Gold has the issue that really small amounts of gold would be gold dust. So like if you go back to the Wild West in US, and you had cowboys buying whiskey in the bar, that's always the one I'm thinking of. As an example, if you were just buying maybe a glass or something, you would need to shave off gold dust from your gold coin or gold bar and knock it or whatever. And clearly that is not properly divisible, because you can do that. How are you going to weigh it? Is there enough dust? And furthermore, once you divide gold into dust, it becomes a lot less durable because it can easily be lost. So that was the divisibility. Bitcoin is one Bitcoin today is divisible into 100 million Satoshis, which have each of them having so low value still that the divisibility is zero problem. Now, what I've understood from the core developers developing on the Bitcoin protocol is that if and when we need smaller units than Satoshis, because the Satoshis become too valuable, then we can basically add more decimals to Bitcoin. So you can have sub-Satoshi units, which means that Bitcoin is infinitely divisible. So it's infinite portable, it's infinite durable, it's infinite divisible, and being infinite maximum value on 3 out of 4 properties is a pretty good start. So the last one is fungibility, which in money speak means privacy. Bitcoin has not a built-in privacy, which is great in terms of being able to verify that no one has tampered with inflation. We can verify that there's only 21 million Bitcoin. Well, eventually we have less than 19 million now, but what did I want to say? The fungibility. Let me just get some water. So the fungibility doesn't exist on a native already on the protocol, but there are solutions out there like CoinJoin, for instance, where you can basically ensure privacy on your Bitcoin. Now, this is something that probably less than 1 out of 10 will be able to work out. So all I'm saying is it's possible now. You need to educate yourself. And if you're just storing your Bitcoin, it's not necessary. It's only if you need to transact and you don't want to expose your wallet and what you have, with the person that you're trading with, who can go and look on the blockchain where that Bitcoin came from. So it is 100% possible to get privacy today. But it's not easy. However, a lot of things are coming in natively now in Bitcoin, in the protocol, which means we will get that privacy even for people who are not technical sound in terms of creating that privacy themselves. So that is, for instance, Lightning Network itself is helping with this. There's Taproot and Schnorr that have been, I think that was the end of last year, Q3 or Q4 last year, where they were accepted into the Bitcoin protocol, and that is basically the Bitcoin program. But now it just needs to be built out and developed, and then we'll get that fungibility. However, 3 out of 4 have maximum infinite value. The last one will be solved, and that means when we soon have maximum infinite value on the 4 properties that are the most important for money, given it's scarce, it has to be scarce first off, which Bitcoin is and Ethereum is not. Then you can't make a better money. So you can't create something, in my opinion, in practicality, you can't create something that's going to be better than Bitcoin. And if you can't create something that is better, let alone at least 10 times better, you will never be able to replace the Bitcoin as a money. You can't even compete with the network effect of Bitcoin, the fact that it's already used as money, the fact that Bitcoin has the value that it has today, which is the most of any blockchain. And you need a valuable token, or basically unit of a blockchain to secure it. And that's why right now, because Bitcoin is more valuable, it also becomes a more secure network. Not only is the programming so much better and secure, we've seen several issues with Ethereum, but when the mining reward is higher on Bitcoin in value, then there's more incentive to mine and secure the Bitcoin blockchain, which means it is a way more secure blockchain compared to any of the other blockchains that exist. And the thing with money is, it's a winner takes all game. I made a video half a year ago, something called on Gresham's Law. It's an 8-minute video. You'll find it in the feed on the channel. And Gresham is an economist that lived a couple of centuries ago, and he explained, and this is why it's called Gresham's Law, that one money will always win out, because anytime you have more money in your pocket, let's say you have 2 or 3 different kind of money, if you know one is better for the long term, you will spend that, you will keep that and spend the other. So if I have 2, I have Bitcoin and I have Ethereum. Now I don't have Ethereum. I don't want to touch it because I don't believe in it. But if I did have, I definitely would spend that Ethereum first. So once the Ethereum is spent, I would be back with Bitcoin, and others would have the similar attitude towards Bitcoin and Ethereum. Everybody knows, some people think Ethereum is great, but they know that Bitcoin is the solid one. So what happens is you end up spending your Ethereum first, which means it's basically washed out as money. And the value compared to Bitcoin just goes down, because that's the one that people don't want to have. People will keep that, the money that they think is best, and for that reason, it ends up being the strongest and most valuable money, which just reinforces the whole network effect. So money is a winner takes all game. And as I explained, that the mining, which secures the network, the blockchain of Bitcoin, because it has more value, it is way higher, the security. So it's a reinforcing, self-reinforcing positive spiral for Bitcoin and negative for everyone else. So why do we still have Ethereum, Litecoin, Ripple, etc.? Well, that garbage, in my opinion, will still be around until Bitcoin reaches that full monetary value, and only then will it start pushing everything else out. You could say it's already pushing Ethereum, because it's Ethereum, again, although it may be at all-time high measured in dollars, it's only at half of the all-time high measured in Bitcoin. So, and Bitcoin is still less than 1% of global monetary value. It needs to go to 98, 99% of global monetary value, and then whatever junk is left, which I include dollar, euro, rubles, Ethereum, Ripple, all of that junk I put in the same basket really as garbage money. Is not good money, and then it will be squeezed out of monetary existence. They may still be around, but they won't be worth much. But again, Bitcoin, there's a clear argument why Bitcoin has value and will continue to grow in value. But what do you see in Ethereum that has a future value? Let me remind you, the supply is unlimited. What is it that it does that is so great? The problem is all these other altcoins, they have a foundation that where they, a centralized point where the Ethereum, for instance, gave themselves 17% of the initial mining to themselves, so they have funds to convince you with marketing. Bitcoin doesn't have that, and Bitcoin doesn't need that. It's winning anyway. But Ethereum and the rest of these shitcoins, they have monetary funds because they sold that 30% of the supply, and then use the remaining to get rich selling it to people, and also simply to sell it to do marketing. And with that, they try and convince you. They use buzzwords. So that's my take really on why people are excited about altcoins today. And you hear buzzwords, people hear buzzwords. They're enticed by the buzzwords like world computer, faster block time. It's all marketing. It's all use of buzzwords to convince you. But explain to me, why do we need Ethereum? What is the value? Bitcoin is money. It's obvious. Ethereum is not money. So why would it have value going forward in the future? So those were some of my takes on Ethereum. Tonebase did a great episode about 4 years ago on Ripple, why that is a scam. Already 4 years ago, he said this is essentially an illegal security because it's been sold at a price giving you an idea that you could make a good investment. If you do that without SEC's approval, that is an illegal security. He said that 4 years ago, and just a couple of months ago, they were sued, Ripple. And the thing is, so go search for Tonebase Ripple scam. He has Peter Todd on that episode, who explains. He's a core developer, has done amazing work on the Bitcoin Core protocol, and he explains why Ripple is just a centralized scam, really. And so he said this 4 years ago, and the information is out there. So, but if you don't educate yourself, if you only listen to buzzwords and marketing, then you might actually start buying some of this. But explain to yourself, why does this have value 5-10 years from now? Because you can't in anything but Bitcoin, which is money. So that was Ethereum. That was also a little bit something on Ripple. I feel the same way about all the altcoins. I have a problem calling them altcoins because altcoins suggest they have an alternative use case. They don't. It's garbage, and that's why because I believe that there are scams delaying the adoption of global sound money. That's why I and others call them shitcoins. Because all they are taking your money, and that money, if they hadn't been created, would have gone into a Bitcoin, and that would have meant that Bitcoin faster would have gotten the momentum to push out the real problem, or the equal problem of dirty fiat currency, which is dollar, euro, etc. So yeah, it's that's why I'm not just all honey talking altcoins and being all sweet and saying, yeah, that's fine, because I have a problem with something that delays that the humanity gets good sound money. I recommend reading this book by Jeff Booth, The Price of Tomorrow, where he explains why deflation is great, unlike inflation being great, as you've been told by the central bankers, which is not great. think about it, it dilutes the value of your savings. Is obviously not a good idea. And then they tell you it's so you can keep your job, so we can stimulate. That's all sounds great, but look back at history and see, how did productivity and jobs, people had jobs before they created a dirty fiat currency, before the dollar was, the central bank, the Federal Reserve was created. We had, so the very best period of productivity growth in United States history was from 1873 to 1892. It's a 20-year period where the productivity of US grew by almost a factor 3, more than 2.5 in just 20 years. We were on sound money. Gold was the money back then. Inflationary money is the work of the devil. Private bankers own the Federal Reserve. Read the book, The Creature on Jekyll Island, I believe it's called. It's a scam created so they can enrich themselves. And you believe it, that the dollar is great. Well, hopefully not many people here on this channel. You mostly are warming on the idea, or are warm on the idea of Bitcoin. So anyways, that's overall, I guess, most of my arguments for why altcoins are shitcoins, and Bitcoin has already won because it has maximum infinite value on 3 out of 4. The last one, we're getting it. You can't beat that. And with the network effect and the security of the blockchain, there's just no beating a Bitcoin the way I see it, like ever. We've come to maximum value, so you can't beat you can't beat infinity, and that's where we're at with Bitcoin. Let me again clear my throat. Further, because Bitcoin is digital and because it's decentralized, apart from those 4 properties of money, Bitcoin has created 2 new advantages in money that we haven't seen before. Because it's decentralized and digital, it cannot be confiscated. Bitcoin is unconfiscatable money. As long as you have proper security protocols, then no one can take your money from you. It's not like gold that you can dig down and a metal detector can find it. Bitcoin, you can carry it in your memory. I don't think, I don't want to remember 12 words. I just make sure it's not accessible for me where I live, because I don't want to be a target potentially. And but it's unconfiscatable, which means no one can take it from you. We haven't seen that before in money. Dollar bills, you put it in your mattress, it can be found. Gold, metal detector, you can't take any of them through customs. You can with Bitcoin. I'm not saying do something is illegal, but if you're in an oppressive regime, then I believe your money is your money and not the government's money. That's how I look at it. Now, so being unconfiscatable clearly is a phenomenal advantage for money. Furthermore, it's permissionless value transfer. So because it's your money, you should be able to transfer it to whoever you want and not need the government's approval. The only reason that government wants to approve is because the government has enemies. And why does it have enemies? It has enemies because it's government for the government and not government for the people. So WikiLeaks, for instance, has exposed war crimes from among other I can see Greg is there as well. I'll get to the questions and the chat in a minute. I'm just ranting here a little bit. Thanks for patience. So WikiLeaks exposed war crimes from the US government and other governments, and for that reason, US cut off WikiLeaks from receiving funds, so they couldn't keep doing what they were doing, because with normal dollar, they shut down credit cards for WikiLeaks, they shut down the SWIFT network for WikiLeaks, and they could no longer accept normal dirty fiat currency. Because it was, they were banned from using that network. But with Bitcoin, nobody need to ask anyone for permission. It's permissionless value transfer. So WikiLeaks started receiving Bitcoin as payment so they can continue their operation. And this is why we say Bitcoin is freedom money. You know, if it's your money, it's free. You can do with it what you want to do. And then I want to go on to well, first, before I go to the chat and take questions, thanks for hanging out, guys. Thanks for participating. I want to just share with you. So this is something that you know, it's my price graph on TradingView, where you know, where this is what I use to track the price of Bitcoin. I just want to share this with you. No, this is not technical analysis. I'm not a technical analyst. I believe there's much more value in understanding the 4-year halving cycle and in understanding how these 4-year events of reducing the halving, the mining reward, why that drives price higher, why that creates a 4-year cycle, because it's a 4-year event. I think that history has proven that very clearly. So I'm not interested in short-term analysis of the Bitcoin price. My attitude is, and so far when it comes to eToro and the results of me and others, where I have 100% focus on, I mean, I am 100% exposed to Bitcoin almost all the time. I have at occasions gone to 97, 98% exposure, which is very, very limited trading when I felt the price was overheated. But basically, in this phase of the bull run, the best performance, you get that from being 100% exposed. You know, on average daily, Bitcoin goes up like quite a bit. We're probably looking at a 0.25% average daily price increase. And I know you're going to say, oh yeah, but we're down from 42,000. But listen, let me just bring up the numbers for my portfolio on eToro, which is basically you know, the performance of Bitcoin, since I am by far most of the time 100% exposed. Then in October, Bitcoin was up 28%, November 40%, December 47%. In January, even though a lot of people are you know, complaining about the price correction or whatever, it's still up 10%. So we got 4 months of phenomenal price growth, and you're gonna tell me that you can outperform that by understanding something short term? You can't. Like, nobody knows the short term. Technical analysis, I would say, sure, it's relevant for normal assets that don't have this 4-year cycle. But when we know we're in the phase of the bull run where we're going up this fast, you just don't want to be at less than 100%. People trying to trade and understand, like, guess what's happening short term, means they don't get that 100% of the price pumps that I do, because the bull run is steep. It's very steep. Yeah. So Plain Marcus, Lapra Huddle, etc. BTC Moon Guy. Yeah, Poppy is my co-host on Toxic Happy Hour, is traveling today, so you know, he may be able to appear in the chat, but we couldn't do a show today, a normal Toxic Happy Hour show. And you know, even before we started Toxic Happy Hour, I'm doing these Bitcoin rants as well, and you know, we'll continue to do that to try and pump out some you know, relevant information on Bitcoin and viewpoints that people can, you know, be critical of if they want. But I know for a lot of people, it helps them to see Bitcoin and altcoins and shitcoins for what they are, and understand the potential we're dealing with here with Bitcoin. Anyways, back to what I wanted to explain before. So this is not technical analysis. For me, this is, you know, back in, I think at the time of the halving, I started this green line. And I'm not saying we're going to reach 200,000 at the end of this year, because my focus is reaching 300,000 latest Q1 next year. However, I have drawn this line to end up at the end of 2021 at 200,000, which means I'm not saying we're going there. I think we will, to be honest. But I'm using this line to track if the price is on target. You know, this is a logarithmic a scale I'm using on TradingView, basically to from halving till the end of 21 to see if we are on target, if it develops equally over time. And right now we are. I just went from the weekly to the daily view, and on the daily view here, you can see that we actually are currently on target. However, so what is important to know is that the Bitcoin bull runs, look at any of them, they get steeper and steeper as we progress. So if we are on target now, in my opinion, we are looking at being way above at the end of this year. Again, I haven't said anything about my expectations until Q1 2022 to be conservative on the safe side. I believe that we will reach 300,000 latest in that Q1 next year. But to be honest, if we reach 400,000 in Q3, Plan Marcus, that's also definitely inspired what you were saying. I think I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be emotionally prepared. I don't think anyone can be fully emotionally prepared for $400,000 Bitcoin in Q3 or 500,000. I can be rationally prepared, but emotionally, I think it's hard to come to grips with what that will do. All right, I will now go through the chat. Pardon me, I'm gonna go back and see what's from the beginning. And by the way, as John mentioned right now, John M in the chat, good friend, we right now MicroStrategy is running their corporate conference over 2 days, where a lot of the focus is on how do other companies just like MicroStrategy use Bitcoin on their balance sheet to store value. MicroStrategy and Michael Saylor have proven that this has been an absolute phenomenal idea. It's much better. And he started this when COVID happened in March last year, and they decided to print, like within a week, it was decided, let's expand the monetary supply of the dollar by 20%. It since went up by that. So he realized this 500,000 I have on my balance sheet is just melting away as ice in the sun, the value of it. So he looked at different alternatives and came to the conclusion that Bitcoin is the absolute best way to store value in a liquid way. I mean, you can buy houses, but that's not very liquid, and it doesn't necessarily store value as well as Bitcoin. The same with stocks. So he chose a Bitcoin, and what he's doing right now, today and tomorrow, I believe it is. Oh, it's 2 days right here in this week. Is explain to other companies how they can do the same thing. This is extremely bullish for Bitcoin. Actually, I think it was just this morning I saw that MicroStrategy has bought another $10 million worth of Bitcoin. They keep throwing whatever they have of dirty fiat currency, like the dollar that they know is losing value. They throw everything dollar for dollar into Bitcoin, which has so far skyrocketed the value of the MicroStrategy stock because they 10 years from now, Bitcoin is going to be great to store value, but the price increase will be over, in my opinion. Bitcoin has gone to full adoption. When one Bitcoin equals $20 million of today's buying power, not financial advice, then we're already there. And there won't be that same dramatic increase in value that we have now, where Bitcoin is still less than 1% of global monetary value and is growing into that 100% potential. All right. Another thing. Yeah, thanks, Jim. I haven't met you before, but yeah. So Toxic Happy Hour with Poppy is a lot of fun. It's my preferred way of going live and do content because Poppy is a great friend of mine. We have great discussions. We can challenge each other, and I can get to breathe once in a while. And we have amazing guests on that show, like really some of the smartest brains in Bitcoin, in my opinion, including Jeff Booth that we had on back in early December. Great show. Go back and watch that. I recommend. But hey, thanks for appreciating. I decided to do just create more content. So whenever Poppy can't go live on Toxic Happy Hour, I will just pump out solo videos like I did before. So nothing wrong with that. BTC Moon Guy is an amazing Bitcoiner. I think I don't know him, but he's always here, and he reminds everyone that NGU is what Bitcoin is, and that is number go up. Number go up, obviously meaning that price is going up, right? So another thing, while I remember, I just read before going live here as well that there's a grayscale lockup that is I think expiring tomorrow. And what grayscale lockup is so corporations or institutions that buy Bitcoin through Grayscale and have them hold it for them this way, they're allowed to sell it after a certain while. And because there's a premium on Grayscale, what they do is they sell them at lockup, and that profit they have, they throw it back into Bitcoin. Now, this is not something I've seen before. I can't verify it. I just read an article, and you all know that you can't always trust articles. I'm just sharing it with you. But the article was bullish because saying that anytime this happens, that profit they've taken will go straight back into Bitcoin, which then pumps the price further. Bullish about it, will go up anyway. Let me see what else you got. Jeff Bezos stepping down. I haven't heard this, but I guess he didn't think it was fun that Elon Musk became the world's richest guy. No, I like both guys. Great entrepreneurs, created a lot of value. I like what they do. All right. So a question here on if Bitcoin's so good, how about mining Bitcoin? Worth it to risky? Totally different investment strategy. Yeah. So so historically, buying Bitcoin with the money that you wanted to buy miners with has always turned out to be a better investment. However, once Bitcoin has been fully adopted as money of the world and no longer has more value increase, that the purchasing power value increase we have with productivity gains in society, by that time, mining might be a good idea. However, it's extremely specialized. It is extremely focused. Profit margins are extremely thin, and you need access to miners before the mining producer start using all of them for themselves. So you need access to miners at a affordable level, and energy to run the miners, the ASICs, as they're called, is key. If you pay normal consumer rate for your electricity, it is a straight out, you'll be mining at a loss. So you need somehow to be placed where there is access to very cheap or near free miners. This is why you've seen private people mine in Venezuela, because it's communist and they make or at least made at one stage electricity free. So if you just had a computer that could mine, you were off to the races. Exactly. Duff, I can't tell you whether you should sell Ether today. I would not own it ever. It's never going to happen. Short term, maybe it'll outperform Bitcoin, but I'll remind you, while everyone else is saying that Ethereum is at its all-time high in terms of dollars, remember that the dollar has lost half its value to Bitcoin. So it's down in terms of Ethereum priced in Bitcoin. Don't price anything in dollar. Price it in Bitcoin, and then you'll realize that all assets are collapsing, valued in Bitcoin, as Bitcoin takes over as money of the world. All right, let's see here in the Zoom. All consolidated. Yes, BTC Moon Guy says it as it is. All coins are created to take your Bitcoin away from you. They use different buzzwords. They try, they convince you it's a world computer, which it is not. Now I'm talking about Ethereum, and then they sell the Ethereum tokens to you. And if you haven't done the due diligence, the research, the education of yourself, look, knowledge is key. So make sure you gather as much knowledge as possible. This goes for everything. Educate yourself, train your brain. I couldn't agree more, BTC Moon Guy. All right, what else we got here? All right, yeah. As John M is saying here, the next dip might be 50 to 48. All right, so to talk about like again, I always say that short term, I have absolutely zero knowledge about what's going to happen to Bitcoin, and no one else does. I think long term and medium term, which for me, medium term is the cycle, long term is the decade in terms of how money plays out and Bitcoin takes over. But on the short term, nobody knows. But like John said, the next dip could be from 50 to 48. And since we don't know it, we're not going to sell anything at 50 because it could be from 65 to 55. And then if you try to make a short-term profit selling at 50, you'll never get it back at that price. So trading Bitcoin short-term is almost guaranteed to make you lose your Bitcoin. That's why, look, Bitcoin still has a 500x potential, in my opinion, from where it is now to the $20 million evaluation, well, 500x plus. So why you want to get cute and greedy if you can have 500x by in a very non-stressful way of buying, holding, leaning back, and not getting cute. Anything that is worth, if there's anything that is worth trading, to me, it's the 4-year halving cycle. Is what I do on eToro. But the way things are going, I will not be selling all of the Bitcoin there because the risk of going straight into hyper Bitcoinization in this halving cycle, I would say, has increased. I still believe we will have a sharp, bear market correction, whatever. But we could go straight to heaven, basically, on the price. So I would not want to sell more than 20% is what I'm thinking right now, because otherwise I have a responsibility to my copiers. I can't risk them only have fiat currency waiting for a dip that doesn't then happen properly. We need to have at least 80% of our Bitcoin. And hey, look, if that goes to 20 million in 4 years, we'll be in a good spot having still 80-90% of the Bitcoin. Anyways, what else we got? I did not personally miss the dip. I bought Bitcoin down to 29,000. I didn't get the 28,900, but I did get the price just above 29,000. I also bought some in 33. And here we have Puppy calling me on the phone. Fortunately, I can't take it now. All right. Read for more chat posts about Roger and this. All right. This is Greggy, great memer. Follow him on Twitter. He's doing amazing content. Let me just see if I have telling him in the DMs that I'm live currently. If he can join, that'd be awesome. Anyway, so Greg, and this question is totally on topic. How much do you? What the fuck? What the hell? Yeah. So Greg very well knows that I have an uncensored approach to the chat. I'll throw pretty much everything up before I read it. Unfortunately, I used to trust Greg, which means I just threw things up from Greg without seeing what he wrote first. Those days are numbers, my dear friend. Everyone, by the way, so the Bitcoin 2021 conference that was set for Los Angeles, April 30th and May 1st, where I wanted to meet as many of my Bitcoin friends as possible, has apparently been moved. I just found out yesterday to Miami in June, but that's a great opportunity for me to come back to Miami. So I'll probably fly over to Miami and hope to meet those of you who live in Florida and those of you who are willing to travel. All right. Labrahuddle, another great memer. You should follow him on Twitter. He does lit memes, funny memes, just like Greg and Plan Marcus and RD. Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, Dubdy, I had to kind of get through my rant on why altcoins are shitcoins and keep my train of thought there, and then come back to the chat, which is what I'm doing right now. John, whatever, take it away, man. Whatever you want to say. Yes, Plan Marcus. Unfortunately, Poppy is flying in his non-public jet, as I like to tease him with. Yeah, therefore, no Poppy today, unfortunately. He does need to join the chat. I did try and call me, so I hope he has access. But what the hell, Marcus? All right. Yeah, so Richard Hart, whom I consider a scammer, and that's why he also blocked me on Twitter. Yeah, shorting Bitcoin is bad for your health. He went leverage long in 2017. He was public about that on his channel, which is probably the reason why when it crashed, he lost everything, because he said it was so easy just to go 2x on his leverage. And probably that's the reason why he created the hex scam. So that he could get you a Bitcoin while he convinced you that it was a good thing. So I would not recommend anyone to put leverage on their Bitcoin buying, because what happens is, sooner or later you have days that will knock you off your feet. We saw it in March last year. Was it the 12th of March where Bitcoin lost 50% in 12 hours? In 8 hours. And if you're leveraged, you'll lose your entire position. And my attitude is, look, eventually Bitcoin will be stable, priced at infinity dollar, when dollar is worth nothing. But until then, there can come moves like that where it loses 50% in 8 hours. You got to be prepared for it. And being a leveraged position doesn't mean you're prepared. It means you can get totally wiped out. Look, we all greedy. We all want to have more money. Of course we do. Money can help us and our families in our lives. But leverage is just difficult. Yeah, so Tone Vase is a friend of mine. I met him first time in 2017. I respect what he does there, and he told me a lot about altcoins being shitcoins. I don't short-term trade Bitcoin, or very, very little. I win a triangle. I have no idea. All right, wonder is so and so. That is a good. All right, let's see what else we got. Double button? Okay, is. I'm just going through all the questions that came, I think, from the time when I put up the graph. I don't do technical analysis, and I think technical analysis is a wrong place to have your focus, because in this phase of the 4-year cycle, you want to be fully exposed. I would say if you looked at the Maya multiple recently, when we went above 40,000, the Maya multiple actually told you to potentially take a little bit off the table, and I didn't do that because I don't really like that anymore, the Maya multiple, because I feel that it's the level at which it suggests you should make moves at the end of the bull run cycle at the FOMO peak is very too much from bull run top to bull run top, and therefore you can't use it. But you know what? Maybe January just proved that during the bull run, when we're still not at the top, it could be useful. All right, so who's going to go? Yep. So this is Michael Saylor. So when we stack Sats, Michael Saylor stacks Bitcoin. Absolutely right, Plan Marcus. You're right. I got a new haircut. You know what? Let's take the hat off. You're probably not around on the tweet anymore. But you know what? I'm not super keen on going to the hairdresser, really, and I can buy more Bitcoin if I cut my own hair. So there we go. Greg, if you ask me, my personal opinion, Cardano is just another shitcoin with no future value. Thank you very much, MG Smith 4. Just like BTC Moon Guy, appreciate you always being around and being supportive. Poppy lurking. We wish. I don't think he is. He is traveling today. All right, so Dreamin' here. I haven't read the whole thing yet before putting it on. Of course, that's how I roll. We don't censor here. It may be YouTube may be owned by Google, and they may censor, but I don't censor. When we do Toxic Happy Hour, I throw chats on that make fun of me. I throw chats on that make fun of Puppy. I throw chats on that make fun of our guests, because we are just in the pub. We're having a good time. If you take yourself too serious, I can't take you serious then. So that's the kind of show we have with Toxic Happy Hour. All right, Dreaman. I know Sats is king, but what are your thoughts on MicroStrategy call options, liking the payoff on OTM leaps? If MicroStrategy continues to purchase Bitcoin, lever up further. Yeah, that might work well. I know that if you are a resident in US here, you don't really have many options to trade Bitcoin options. So I guess MicroStrategy could work as an option. I will say with options, I traded options during the .com boom, especially also, well, and then again when Google went IPO in 2005, I was doing call options on Google. It treated me really well, but I both tried to win money on options and lose money, because so it is with a high level of risk. But I don't, I feel fairly confident on, very confident on this bull run in Bitcoin. So that's actually not a bad idea to look into. But I will say you need to know what you're doing. Call options, you can lose everything you have if timing just messes up. If everything is delayed by 3 months because something happened in the market. So, you got to know what you're doing, and it's not advice from me to start doing call options on MicroStrategy. But it's something I like that you bring it up. I might look into it myself. But I don't recommend people who have no experience in call options starting to buy MicroStrategy call options. If you have the experience and know what you're doing, no problem. Right, what do we have here? Christopher Healy. So I'm a bit late right now. It seems to see that they were shorting from institution being. So yeah, I heard this as well, that hedge funds are shorting Bitcoin with $1 billion. I guess, look, you can go long Bitcoin on the different platforms that there is that trade futures, which means BitMEX, Bitfinex, different exchanges. You can take the long side on those futures, which means every time you can take the long, you can also have someone going short. So it doesn't worry me at all. In fact, the more money there's short Bitcoin, the better, in my opinion, because when the price starts moving up, which I'm 100% confident that it will, not financial advice, just my opinion. When the price starts moving up, what happens is these shorts I pushed out of their short bets, their short positions. They are forced to buy back the Bitcoin that they borrowed and sold. They borrowed Bitcoin and sold them. That's how you go short. So when the price starts going up and their equity on that short position goes towards zero, they are forced to buy it up. And that's why it's called a short squeeze. So as the price starts moving up, and if it starts to trigger some of these short positions, you see a squeeze up in price. So the more people are short Bitcoin, the better, because we're gonna have more price rises. And one short position can, that being closed and buying back Bitcoin in the market can press the price up to the next short position, and then it just collapses upwards. The thing is, this is also something that is then, it's a cycle you clean out. So once all the shorts are squeezed out and you only have longs back, then you can go through a period of where you can't have any more short squeezes, but then all of a sudden people may become too bullish, and when they're too bullish, they go too long on, and can be stopped out of those positions, and then we have a long squeeze, which takes the price the other way. So there's a cycle with pretty much everything, just like there's a cycle with global reserve currencies, where different currencies throughout the history of the world has been global currencies. I believe that Portugal, Holland, and UK all had like a period of approximately 100 years of global reserve currency. It's funny how it's almost approximately a century that there's the life cycle of a global reserve currency. And guess what? Dollar is around a century now as history of or position as global reserve currency. So dollar ending as global world reserve currency now would be according to history. And yeah, now we have Bitcoin. And as I just explained earlier in this stream, the properties of Bitcoin, because it's the best money we've ever seen, because it has maximum infinite value on the very important properties of money, then it's unlikely, extremely unlikely, that anything better can come and then do the same to Bitcoin as Bitcoin is doing now to a dollar, to gold, and etc. So this could be the end game, and what a privilege to be alive as we watch, the end game money, in my opinion, take over as money of the world. And we have an opportunity here where Bitcoin still, if it succeeds in what I feel is inevitable, is going to go up 500x from where it is today to $20 million per Bitcoin. I'm doing a presentation for eToro club members on Thursday, where about 365 people, I think, signed up. I'm really looking forward to that, and I will explain this $20 million price target. I'm going to do that same presentation here on the YouTube channel as soon as we have a day where we're not doing toxic happy hours. So it'll probably be like end of next week. We're trying to squeeze out public toxic happy hour Friday, Monday, Tuesday, potentially also Wednesday, because we have some great names that have agreed to come on, and we need to execute on that and bring these great minds to toxic happy hour to share their input with you guys. All right, what do we have? Stairways to Heaven. Yeah, I read this before, so it was you, BTC Moon Guy. But yeah, I couldn't agree more. We are watching Stairway to Heaven. On that note, let's just take Stairway to Heaven back here for a little while. The price of Bitcoin following that green line, dark green line, will take us to 200,000 by the end of this year. Okay, so no, I don't think it's too high to buy now. I think, if anything, the last 12 months, we had two periods, as I recall, varying lengths, where Bitcoin has been trading sideways. I remember it happening back at the end of 2018. It was trading sideways for 2 months. Whichever direction it comes from, it's going to continue to go in that direction. This is history. This is not me trying to do technical analysis, of which I don't claim that I can. But in 2018, Bitcoin came from up. It reached 6,000. It traded sideways at 6,000 for 2 months, and then it collapsed down to 3,100 in a matter of a month or so, a couple of weeks. And back last year in summer, we were trading sideways after the halving at $9,500 approximately for 2 months. What happened after that, because we've been sideways for a good amount of time, and because the price came from down, it went up like a rubber band that finally gives way. The same thing happened when we finally reached the old all-time high, just shy of 20,000. Then we traded sideways at like 19,000, 18,000 for a couple of weeks, as I recall. After which the rubber band is let go, and price shot up to 42,000 in a matter of a bit more than 1 month, which is a phenomenal. Price increase of more than 100% in a bit more than a month. And right now, what I feel is that we're trading sideways at this. It was 33,000, but today we've even been approaching 36,000. Right now it's 35,600. Again, short term, I don't claim to know it, but it feels like once again we're trading sideways, even increasing a little bit. And I believe we're gonna shoot to 50,000 either in February or March, if not 60,000. Sooner or later we will. That's I feel is for sure. So DCA, as John is saying, dollar cost average, which means you split your purchase out over time, is a good way to go. But in this phase of the bull run, I would right now, today, personally, I would throw in at least 70%, and then the remaining 30% maybe split it out over a month. 1% every day, that works out. But at the same time, why trade the short term? We're not at the all-time high right now. That was 42. We're $7,000 below the all-time high. And if you look at my portfolio on eToro, I'm 100% exposed to Bitcoin. So if I thought it was not good to be 100% in Bitcoin, I would not be 100% in Bitcoin. I am 100% in Bitcoin. I don't own stocks anymore because, for some family members that I do their portfolios and manage those, there is a small percentage of stocks because I have a responsibility not to have everything in one asset. I believe it's not a good idea. I think Bitcoin will go up faster than the stocks they have, clearly. But I cannot put these people's money 100% in one asset. My own money is 100% in one asset, is 100% in Bitcoin. I don't even own a car because everything is dropping measured in Bitcoin. Bitcoin is money, dollars is not. Don't measure things in dollars. Measure everything in Bitcoin, in my opinion. This is a bull run. It's a very steep phase of the bull run. The bull run gets steeper and steeper. And, I expect we'll see 300,000 latest Q1 next year. But we could see 500,000 in half a year, in 7 months, 8 months. I'm not trading that. I'm just saying that could happen as like best case scenario. Absolutely. Lapra, yes, that's been doing good. Do you think we're going to have a quick? Salim Amara, I would like to know which time frame you're thinking about here in terms of correction after the next pump. Bitcoin doesn't go up in a straight line. Nothing goes up in a straight line. There will always be, some level of corrections after a pump. We just saw in January a 30+% correction because we went up very fast, for more than 100% in a matter of like 5-6 weeks. If that happens again, sure, I guess we will. But you know what? We don't know when that is coming. So everyone could also have said we let's say that we pumped from 20,000 to 27,000, then people were selling at that stage thinking that, hey, maybe it will crash and then I can buy it back cheaper at 23. But guess what? It continued to 42 and then it crashed, corrected or whatever, to 29,000. Because we don't know when the corrections will come, why do you want to try and trade it? At least with anything meaningful. If you think it's fun, sure, but why do it with more than 1 or 2%? I feel it's a safe bet that whatever Bitcoin you have is going to go up phenomenally in value. Dubd says it. Infinity, yes, because fiat currency will inflate continuously until it finally loses all value. Bitcoin will be priced at infinity dollars by the end of this decade. John M., we have some great names coming up on Toxic Happy Hour. I don't know if you're still around there, but let me mention the names that we have. Okay, 2 seconds. So now we need to coordinate a schedule. So there's no guarantee that these people can anytime soon. We have Stefan Levera. We have Jason, going parabolic. Ben Kaufman, Guy Swan, JW, Parker Lewis. What the fuck happened in 1971? And others. So these are the names that we need to get on. I don't feel. I don't like that we have got people to agree to come on the show and then it takes forever before we actually schedule it. I feel it's not very nice of us. So I keep saying that please let's not put more people on the list until we've actually had the Toxic Happy Hours with these great Bitcoin minds. Give me some. D. Yeah, there you go. I'll throw pretty much anything up. No censorship here. Plan Marcus, yes, great familiar faces and new faces in the chat. So I told my copiers on eToro that I was going to do this because I also, I do that to help educate them. Well, my point of view, I'm not saying I'm right. I believe I'm right, obviously, but people need to have different viewpoints to educate themselves and make their own, make up their own mind. So I share that with my copiers and followers on eToro, and yeah, a lot of them come on here. I hope they enjoy it, and will hang around and watch some toxic happy hours where we have some great Bitcoin minds on, bigger minds than me on the show. So that's probably worth watching. Yeah, on DCA, yeah, don't worry about the price. As Plan Market says, anything under $100,000 is cheap. I don't think the correction coming in the if we have a bear market, let's say from 350 or whatever, or 300, I don't think we'll ever go below 100,000 again once we reach that level. So I agree with Plan Marcus here. Don't worry, and that's why do we need to spend a lot of time trying to figure out if we should go all in now, or spread it out over the next 30 days. I'm all in my portfolio, and I don't care. I was laughing when it went from 42 to 29. I was sorry for the many copiers in eToro that I see panic, and I try to calm people and say this is business as usual. I've been telling you guys for 9 months that last time we had 6 corrections of 30%. It will happen, but because we don't know when it happens, we can't trade on that belief. We know it happens, and when it does, we buy the dip, because buying 30,000 when we've just been at 42 is way better than buying at 30,000 when we're coming up from below, because now you through the anchor, that the correction is happening, and there's a limit to how deep you can go. I don't know what Bitcoin is. Who did that? I did that myself. If the haircut you're talking about, I remember. Yeah, Tone Base. I was on. I had a rare appearance on his channel, and he asked me why I cut my hair. As he remembered, I did have hair. Yeah, I do have hair, but you know what? I like this look. I'm sorry, and you know what? It's fun, and it's cheap, and that means more money for Bitcoin. And Labra Huddle agrees. I think we're going to get Goody T. If that is the effect of this episode, if that is the only thing that happens from me doing this, I feel it's been worth it. If you're going to cash out of your ETH and move it all over to Bitcoin, let me say, of course, I have no knowledge if short-term Ethereum will outperform Bitcoin. I see no scenario in the world where Ethereum will outperform Bitcoin in the long run. So why hold it to try and accumulate more Bitcoin? Because the long-term direction is down, in my opinion. Again, it will very likely go up in terms measured, like the price in dollars. But what does that help if it goes down in price measured in Bitcoin? And that's what we need to think of. Okay, yeah, sure, I got it. All right, let me see what else we got. I wanted to exit it. So, oh, you wanted to exit at $1,500 per Bitcoin, but yeah, still very much down in terms of. All right, so Dub D has a question here. Have you considered opening a Discord voice chat simultaneously with your live stream so we can chat as if in a bar like all of us? I haven't. I don't even know how that works. But it's probably going to be hard to focus on communicating to the live stream here and then have a discussion at the same time. I don't know how that works. Oh, we have Poppy. Thank you, Poppy, for appearing. This is my dear co-host, Toxic Happy Hour. I hope you're still watching, Poppy. Yeah, it's your fault that we're not doing Toxic Happy Hour today because you had to travel in your non-public jet. So there we go. My dear friend, Pop Lord, the man, the myth, the legend. Yeah, you can get a shout out. Are you kidding me? Pablo is like one of my best friends. We haven't even met, but we meet on the phone and have done so every week for more than 2 years, and decided half a year ago or 4 months ago to throw it on my YouTube channel, to create a show together where we just have these same discussions about Bitcoin. Exactly, Plan Marcus. Shorts on Bitcoin is bullish. When the price goes up, it pumps more. Puppy, you said a shout out. You called me earlier. I couldn't pick up. I'm on the stream here. If you have a chance to join, I will send to you right now and ask you if you can join on the DM on Twitter. And if you can, I just ask you, and I will also send you the link. So guys, if you haven't met Puppy before, my co-host from Toxic Happy Hour, you can now. He received a link to join. That's right. That's right. Puppy. That's right. Getting ready to board. Oh, there we go. Getting ready to board a flight soon. Enjoy the show. Thanks, Puppy. Miss you, man. But I'll try and schedule those Toxic Happy Hours for Friday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Let's see how many of those we can nail. And a red balloon from Plan Marcus to Poplord .hodl. Thank you, Marcus, for that. I'm sure that Puppy now feels safe when he travels, knowing that he has the red balloon from you. So the BlockFi Bitcoin that people can send there to get an interest rate. Not only do I recommend against it, because you're put in a position where you can lose all of that Bitcoin if there's a price correction, and that is just too sad and unnecessary when we have a 500x potential. But again, I'll say like I did before, look, if people are shorting Bitcoin, please do so, because when the price moves up, which I'm confident it will put you in a short squeeze where the price pumps further, because those people need to buy back the Bitcoin that they shorted. So it creates extra further price, bullish run upwards, just like GameStop went parabolic, because Reddit users, Wall Street bets, basically squeezed them out of their short position, forced them to buy it back, and these hedge funds, which had been shorting the stock 140% of the outstanding, which means they went short more stocks than they even were in the company, that ended pushing the price significantly high. And that, I think, is one of the things they did wrong, Wall Street bets, when they started to pump Ripple, because there was no shorts to squeeze out. The reason it was so wonderful on GameStop is because you had these hedge funds who were forced to buy it back. And then they went to Ripple. There were no shorts that were forced to buy back, or very little, which means you're just pumping a useless token. What those guys should do is buy Bitcoin. That is the real anti-deep state. Bitcoin fixes all of this. The world needs sound money. The world don't need a Ripple pump. Unless you hold that back, but that won't end well, if you ask me. This is correct. MG Smith 4, Poppy's an international man of mystery, and he does live the 007 lifestyle. I didn't know you were going to reveal it, but Poppy is traveling to West Africa that's the general location. Exact country to be revealed later. Dub-D, we actually have a Telegram group for Toxic Happy Hour where we can voice chat. We can't see each other, we can voice chat. I don't have that link in this YouTube description below, but if you go back to the last YouTube show that we did, you will find the link to our Telegram group. Feel free to join. Just know that there's a lot of banter and fun and making fun of each other and making fun of other people. It's just an open forum where we don't hold back our negative opinions about scammers. So there's a lot of what I call it hardcore humor. But hey, feel free to join. Sometimes we go on the voice chat, and it's great to meet other Bitcoiners. Yeah. right, so okay, and Christopher Healy, you'll be there on for the presentation that I do on Thursday for eToro Club members. No one here will be cheated. I'm going to do that as soon as I have time, and we're not doing a toxic happy. I'll definitely do the same presentation here on this channel. Looking forward to that. Awesome, Christopher. Throw some questions to Danny. He'll be moderating that. We'll only have an hour, but I mean, I can go as long as you guys want. I don't know. I'm not sure how Danny's going to do it. Is that okay? So this is a question. Is it okay just to leave the BTC in eToro? Shall I always move it to the wallet? If you move it to the eToro wallet, you should take possession in self-custody. And that is generally what we advocate, self-custody. But be aware that more people have lost their Bitcoin from messing up their self-custody. And I mean, I see different level of experience with people on eToro, and there are people where it's probably safest to just have it on the exchange. I recommend that you educate yourself, but I don't recommend that you take self-custody of Bitcoin until you have properly educated yourself. All right, what else we go? But of course, if you do that, you're no longer copying the trade on the halving cycle, which is what I do. In case you copy, that's what I do in aiming to accumulate more Bitcoin. Yeah, what else we got here? Yeah, don't ever get a ledger. They were hacked, and all the information of their clients were shared on a forum, which means that you are now a target for scammers and criminals who want your Bitcoin. Yes, this is correct. I am way behind. Let me see the questions right now. Oh my God. The question, I'm 17 minutes behind on the chat. Jesus. Let me try and speed it up a little bit and just go for the things. Poppy, don't be saying I'm big timing you again. You were supposed to be here, but you didn't have time to play with the little boys here, your co-host. You were traveling in your non-public jet. He knows that. We're just bantering here and making fun of each other. We got to give each other a hard time, otherwise we're not having fun. It's still Monday. He's dead for it. Yeah. Yep, I'm still in the Monday part of the chat. That's right. Let me continue to go through the chat here. What am I catching up? I'm only 14 minutes behind now. Jesus, you guys are really active in the chat. And I'm sorry, because it means that the time does. Yeah, I'm behind on the questions. What I will say is, in general, why I look for comments, is that overall, I'm very bullish on Bitcoin. It's a great time to be a Bitcoiner. We at the early phase of a bull run. Sure, we up about 60% from the past top, but we'll probably end up being up more than 1,000% from the past top in this bull run. So it's early days. I wouldn't wait. I wouldn't wait exposing myself and getting Bitcoin. It's for me a matter of just, even especially because the anchor at 42,000 has been thrown. It's just about accumulating as much as possible. Yes, it's another problem. It's expensive to use. The gas prices is high on it, are high on Ethereum. Puppy, unfortunately, now is taking off in his rocket to the moon. So what we're phase with the DJ's phase time. All right, that was it. You mean Doge is gonna moon? Yeah, I don't think so. But I have no interest in it anyway. Hey, all right. What are we at now? I'm only 2 minutes behind in the chat. Hope I didn't skip over anything that was important. I haven't paid attention to it for 3. All right, so I know that I'm just All right, but again, while I'm looking at the chat, super bullish Bitcoin. I expect $300,000 per Bitcoin latest Q1 next year, but honestly, would not be surprised to see 400,000 in Q3. Thanks to you, Plan Marcus, who had some good arguments for that. Plan Marcus is also in the chat, which I have caught up with, and Plan Marcus is also a great memer. Look him up on Twitter and follow him for great entertainment in the world of Bitcoin memes. Just like the other guys I mentioned, and Labrahodl, Greggy, Poppy himself, my co-host, RD, BDC, a lot of great memers out there. Microchat is doing some as well. Anyways, all right, I reached the end of the chat. I don't know if there's any, can we get this Doge off the screen? Sorry about that, leaving it there. Are there any more questions you guys want me to answer? Now I'll be happy to take them. Otherwise, I'll say as a conclusion on this, I am super bullish Bitcoin with the early phase of a bull run. I expect us to see 300,000 latest Q1 next year. Could go way higher than that. I don't hold any stocks. I don't believe in them. They will fall measured in how many Bitcoin one stock is worth. But I don't recommend being all in. I am myself. I don't have other assets, but that is obviously, I mean, although I feel it's not risky, you know, having everything in one basket overall is risky. Don't do that. Educate yourself, and you know, act accordingly. Maybe you want to pay off mortgage or whatever. Yes. So overall, super bullish on Bitcoin. Enjoyed this. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Nice to see there's an interest for it. Bitcoin mining stocks, I think you do better than just by owning Bitcoin yourself. I will try and pump out many more of these videos than I've done. I want to do at least one a week because I can see there's an interest for it. And, you know, damn, I love doing this. Talking Labrahodl, my boy in South America. I think I can say that much. Thanks for participating, man. Thank you all for participating. Hope to see you on the next one. We're planning to do toxic happy hours, hopefully Friday, Monday, Tuesday. It depends on our beloved guests, smart people of Bitcoin that we want to share their knowledge and viewpoints with you guys. If they can make it on those days, I will be sending out invitations to them later today. But I unfortunately also have some work to do, whether I like it or not. Thank you, Plan Marcus. Yep, Christopher, see you on Thursday. All right, on that note, everyone, I just want to say one last final comment, and that is be careful to store more value in fiat currency than you can afford to lose, because it is a built-in policy that they will dilute the value of your savings. So careful with that. And on that note, I'll join the chat now. I'll take it offline, the stream itself, but I'll join the chat. And have a good day. Have a good day. Have a good year. 2021, the year of face melting in Bitcoin. See you.